Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on what time you're watching this, depending on where in the world you are watching this show. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I am Anton, and I'm bringing you today Mr. David Moyes' press conference for the Brighton game, which will be getting played tomorrow evening, right back home at the London Stadium in front of our beautiful, amazing home fans. So, yeah, buzzing about the game, coming off the back of back-to-back defeats against Wolves and Manchester City away from home. West Ham need to bounce back somehow. Make sure you do join us later on tonight, though, 9 o'clock tonight. Myself and Matt will be doing the match day build-up show, preview show. We will have a Brighton away fan on, so we'll be talking all things Brighton. We'll be talking all things West Ham, of course. But this particular show is all about one thing and one thing only, and that's the David Moyes press conference. But before we move any further forward, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're really not that far away. So please go and hit that subscribe button as soon as you possibly can. If you are watching, it will help our channel out. On top of that, please go and hit those thumbs up. That really does help our channel out as well. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, go and check out our membership program. You can. We've got a new website getting launched very, very soon. We've got loads of exciting stuff coming up soon. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit of extra merchandise. We do have some mugs. I'm going to try and get them on somewhere over the next couple of days, so you can maybe look at getting yourself a hold of some West Ham Network mugs. Of course, Stell did his West Ham Weekly yesterday, so go and check that out. And then tomorrow we will have a busy day again because we're back playing games, so we'll have the match day live, so make sure you do join us for that. But like I said, go and subscribe and then leave some comments. I'll jump into the chat, just see who's kicking about, and then I'll get started on his press conference. James Bong, afternoon, good to see you. Howard Ailes, thank you very much for joining us. Father Snowman, afternoon all. Oz, sup Anton, sup Oz, good to see you, mate. I knew I was expecting it. I was waiting for it. It's funny. I don't want people to think this, but I don't celebrate it. It's just I've never have done, and that's just that's just what happens. Hi Anton, hi FS. Hope you're all well. Yes, we are. Spencer, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you are well. Dalek, good to see you, mate. Hope you are well. If we hit 10k and Still's doing a backside here live on the West Ham Network, yeah, we will see. We will see, mate, 100%. Listen, let me get started on the press conference from Mr. David Moyes. So he goes in to first talk about team news. We've got a doubt about Aaron Creswell, but he's been out today. So we're hopeful, but that he's not too bad, but we'll see how he is. So, of course, if you did watch the Man City game, Creswell did clear a ball off of the line. However, his back impacted against the post and he kind of bent in the most awkward of positions. He then was substituted. Subsequently, Vladimir Sufal came on and took over the left back position. So it did. He kind of was limping, and it would be a concern for me if we do lose someone like Aaron Creswell, because it depends on who we are or what we're thinking of putting in. God, I've got a bit of food in my beard. How terrible is that? Of who we're putting in that position. Really, that's the biggest concern. We are going to talk in depth about it in the preview later on, but there is a doubt over Aaron Creswell, and that's something we don't really want to see because he is firing on all cylinders and he has been fantastic. However, what we do have in our midst is, and we did see Masuaku come on. I thought Masuaku had an okay game against Manchester City, but I think we can't rely heavily on him. You've got options. You've got Sufal, who can play over on the left, and you've got Ben Johnson, who can also play over on the left. Now, on the Ben Johnson situation, Moyes actually brings him up in the press conference today. So he says he's a great boy to work with and he's had to wait. He got his opportunity and he's been great. We've been really pleased with Ben and he's had a really good game against Raheem Sterling. He started the season really well. Sometimes an opportunity comes. You say it to any player in the squad. Sometimes you need a couple of games and he's taken it. He's earned the position and the chance to get that jersey. Things you love to hear from David Moyes is, and it sounds like he's going to stick with Ben Johnson in that position. So if Creswell is not going to make the game, and if he has a doubt who steps into his role, would it be Masuaku? I don't actually think so, because we've seen history when, say, Creswell hasn't played, Masuaku hasn't predominantly gone into that left-back position. So you may see Vladimir Sufal step into that role. It will be an interesting team selection for tomorrow. That's if Aaron Creswell doesn't make it, of course. Get your comments in and let me know your thoughts on that. Also, Moyes goes on to talk about Brighton themselves. He says every team who plays Brighton understands that they can cause you problems, play with a really good style, and have made a good start to the season. I think Graham Potter's done a really good job. They've gone about their work really well. If you asked me last season who I'd tip to improve, I'd have said Brighton. I think just overall, they're a well-run football club with Graham's a really good manager. I don't need to give Graham any advice, but I think the Brighton supporters are really lucky to have him as a manager. He's a top manager with a really good team, and we all get booed at times in our careers, but you just have to move on, and I'm sure he knows that's what he's doing. As you are aware, and I don't know if you are aware, but Brighton fans have been booing Potter and Brighton over the last several games because they've not had a great run. We will go in depth about that on the previous show later on 9 p.m. tonight, so please make sure you do check it out. But yeah, I think it's potentially unfairly and quite harsh treatment on Graham Potter, considering where Brighton are in the league and what he has achieved at the club and what Brighton have achieved in the Premier League. So I do think it's harsh treatment on him, to be honest. But as David Moyes says, people have to be mindful of the situation and where people are and how lucky people are and teams are, and how lucky West Ham are, of course, in the position that we're in. He goes on and he talks about, no, I don't want to talk about that bit yet. I want to talk about reflecting on the Man City game. He said, I'd like to say we were no different to PSG, who went there and tried to win. We tried another way to get a result, but both of us found it very difficult to wrestle possession away from Man City. I thought we did a really good job, not because of points, but because we always gave ourselves a chance of getting something from the game. And I completely agree with what David Moyes is saying here. And I really do. And I'm intrigued to hear your point of view coming back from the Man City game, because I feel that I don't know how to explain it. It's a really tough one because if they had won 2-0, I'd been really disappointed. And I'm still disappointed we got beat. But when I dissect the Fernandinho goal, like it's a good, well worked goal, but the actual finish is it's just like placed into the bottom. I don't know. I just, I think 1-1 would have sat well with me. If you look at stats in your statistician and you look at it and you go, right, there's 70% possession on the full game from Man City compared to West Ham's possession, people would go, well, they deserve the victory. Well, it wasn't like that, because I actually felt that we had some good, clear-cut chances and actually caused them problems in certain areas of the park when we did have the ball. But we just lacked that finesse and that final third options going forward. So I think that's where the disappointment for me and probably for David Moyes is as well. Before I move on, I'm going to jump into the chat and see what everyone else is saying in the chat. Adam Casey, hello from good old Irish Hammer. Good on you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniela. I mean, happy St. Andrew's Day to you as well. And you're all talking to each other. That's good. Father Snowman saying play Johnson left back and Sufal right back, rest Crizzy for Saturday's game. Yes, but I see the sentiment behind that, but I don't think he'll do that with Ben Johnson because he is settled in that role. And I actually think Ben Johnson had a good game against Man City. So that would be drastically changing. That would be taking someone who's got momentum, putting him into another role. Yes, we know we can do it, but giving Sufal an opportunity, I don't think that's right. I think Sufal can play in that position if we need to. So, Gaza is saying, would you be tempted to play Fredericks left back as he's got some pace? It could be an option. But again, this just all depends on what we've got in the ranks, if whether or not Criswell will make the game or not. But we will have to see, of course. So he then goes on and talks about, I've spoke about Brighton, I've spoke about the situation coming back off the back of Man City. He then goes on to talk about Declan Rice. He says, it's a message to us all. 2 years ago, we had to avoid relegation, and now we're talking about a team that wants to be in the Champions League. That is the positivity around the place. I have a good team, and I'm challenging them to get better, and I think we can play better than we are. I'm looking forward to them all lifting it again and playing better again. What he's talking about here is the comments that Declan Rice had said in the week about saying, I want to take West Ham into the Champions League to fulfill theirs and my ambition. This is what Declan Rice had said earlier in the week, and that's not something that we need to be concerned about, because any player in that position does have that ambition to be playing at the highest level. So nobody should read into anything so much that goes overboard. It's just that Declan Rice has the ambitions, not just for himself, but for our football club, just like we do. We have that ambition. That is progression again. That is like a couple of steps forward in a progression. So good on you, Declan. Fingers crossed you can get it with West Ham. Fingers crossed we can bounce back with a victory over Brighton tomorrow evening. because we're coming up to now 2 home games in the space of several days, and it would be a good way to bounce back tonight, and you can kind of dust yourselves off and forget the last 2 games back-to-back defeats, because he does go on to talk about the back-to-back defeats. Let me see if I've got them here. He said the wins and the way we've been playing has given us huge belief. I don't think not winning at Man City would necessarily give us a huge dent, but we want to get back winning, and I understand that if we're going to continue to be competitive, we have to pick up points. It doesn't matter where it is. Competing means winning games as well. We've competed really well against Liverpool and beat them, and competed well against Man City and didn't get a result against them. We're not quite at that level yet, but we have to keep pushing for it. And what you do notice with David Moyes is he talks about consistency, the word I use all the time when we listen to David Moyes' press conference, and the word that he constantly brings up all the time. He will not want consistently defeats for West Ham. He won't be happy that we've had back-to-back defeats, but what he will do is take the positives from the Man City game. We didn't play well against Wolves, but we played better against Manchester City. So there's progression, and he will now want West Ham to go out against Brighton at home, get a result, get the 3 points over the line, which is exactly what we need to do. Bounce back, and then you just look over your shoulder and go, you forget those 2 defeats, and you learn from the negatives. And that's the new West Ham. And that is something that we need to turn around and make sure we get the result over the line tomorrow, 100%. So I've spoken about team news. I've spoken about Brighton, Rice, Ben Johnson. He says Moyes playing at home and the fans. He says we've been away to Wolves, Rapid Vienna, and Man City, so having 3 home games now. Hopefully we'll use it to our advantage. The crowd's been brilliant in the stadium, and we need them. We need them all the time now. He's right. He's right 100%. He needs every single one of us to get behind the team, home and away, and we can always hear the fans in the away ground. They're amazing. We're amazing. You can probably hear us where we are, wherever you're situated around the world. It is amazing. We have such a unique and beautiful family supporting West Ham, but we need to make that London Stadium rock like we've been making it rock over the last season, 18, well, whatever, since we've been allowed back in the stadiums, and keep that momentum going, because we have a part to play in this whole transition that West Ham are going through. So keep that voices, keep those going, and we've got 3 games, and imagine we could walk out with something magical over the next 3 games. Magical. We've got such a great opportunity. We've got a lot of games coming up, but this is where this is like backs to the wall, bits of business. We need to get this job done. We need to get the points over the line, and that's exactly what he is pushing for. He then goes on to talk about midweek fixtures. He said, let's hope it continues. The level of Premier League, it's so tough to win the games. Everybody's in a batch of more fixtures at the moment, so results could be strange, and it's not easy to call the winners of every game. But we have been performing well in midweek fixtures since we've been in the Europa League, and he wants that form to continue. And he doesn't not want to have midweek games, because if you don't have midweek games, you're not playing in the highest level of competition. You haven't finished the highest level up in the league. So we have to get used to this transition. We want to be playing midweek games. He actually wants to flip it and play Wednesday, Saturdays rather than Thursday, Sundays. And so do I, because that means then you're potentially performing in the Champions League, which is the highest competition we want to be performing in. So good on you. Absolutely huge. He goes on to talk about the start of the season. He said it's right up there with the best. I think the big thing I've got is a really good team, a group of players who are competitive, working on changing the mentality. And I think when it comes to the 28th of December, where he will have been here for 2 years, the turnaround the players have made in that time has been great. So they deserve huge credit for what they've done. Still trying to build the club. 18 months at the moment isn't a long period to be at any club, but the players and us as staff have made decent progress. Decent progress? You've made huge progress. You've changed people's perceptions, not just of West Ham, but in my opinion, and I'm making a big bold statement here, of football. Completely. Moyes has changed my whole dynamic, the way I think about football, the way I think about West Ham in the transfer market. I think so differently now. I don't massively get excited by 60 or 70 million pound linked players or 40, 50 million pound linked players. I get more excited about someone we found that nobody else is looking at, because I have utter faith in what Moyes and the backroom staff are trying to achieve with West Ham. We found so many diamonds in that rough, and we are transitioning players, and We're we're bringing players back to their best form, and he's still doing it. That's why I'm never going to turn around and go, you know what, Vlasic, you're not any good, mate. I'm going to give up on you, just like what some people were doing with Benrahma. Benrahma's not hitting a bit of form just now, but do we give up on him? No. Why? Because he's under Moyes, he's under the right manager, and he will get the best out of him at some point. We have a full squad. We're playing several games. We need this squad. This is what it's all about. It's a full-blown team effort, and fair play to him for what he's achieved, him and the backroom staff. I think we're going to try and do a video on the whole backroom staff and what David Moyes has achieved since being back at the club. I don't know when that's going to be penciled in because we've got a lot of fixtures, but that will be coming very, very soon. So let me just see. I've done that one. I've done that, playing at home in front of the defence. So then he goes on and talks about moving third in the Premier League win list. I will be thrilled, and I'm trying to push on and get more wins. The players I have got will do that. It is not bad being named in the same category as Sir Alex and Arsene Wenger. I mean, David Moyes, take a bow. Is that not the famous saying that Alex Ferguson said? Take a bow. Like, take a bow, mate. Fair, or it's Andy Gray, I can't even remember. Take a bow, David Moyes, because you deserve it. You deserve all the credit you get. 100%. I'll hold my hands up. I do it week in and week out and say I was dead against you coming back to the club, but I made the biggest mistake, and you've transitioned and you've shown everyone what you're more than capable of doing. And I'll be quick not to make such a big judgment like I've done from the past as well. Then he goes on and talks finally about the recruitment, the January recruitment. He says, I think if it was easy as buying players, we would all do it. It's not as easy as buying players. West Ham have bought players in the past, but if you do not get that right, it does not always work. You need to buy the right players, and they need time to settle in. We want to progress and challenge at the top. It is not easy as just spending money, which reiterates what I've just said to you. He has transitioned our club into not thinking about just bang, wallop. The amount of times I see on social media fans saying, oh, the board need to slump up 50, 60, 70 million pounds. That would be nice, but contradicting the comment I just made, what do you get for that? What do you get for that? Do you just want us to go and spend 40, 50 million pound on Origi? Do you want us to go and spend 40, 50 million pound on Tammy Abraham? Or do you want Moyes to do what he's currently doing, which is having the faith in what he's building at this club? And look where we are. We're fourth in the Premier League coming into December. Who would have thought it? We're through to the last six in the Europa League. We're through to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Everyone could turn around and say, well, the season could all go wrong from here. But you know what? Okay, we're on our way. We're doing well. We're challenging. We're trying, and we're going to keep that consistency going forward. And you know what? I think he'll be looking at players he's had before. Lingard, you could talk about, no matter what people think, if he's got the relationship there and he thinks that Lingard can come back and make a difference, then there's a player there that he's going to look at. But he's got his eyes on some other people in this market. It just depends on who he wants to bring in and are they at the right price. He's not going to pay over the odds. He's not going to pay over the odds for players that we don't need. Yes, we think we need, but he's not going to do it because we've seen consistently, time after time after time, being linked to so many players and none of them going through the line. Nobody knew about Tommy Soucek. Nobody knew about Vladimir Coufal. Nobody knew about Jesse Lingard. Look what happened. They all came in. Nobody knew about Vlasic. Look what happened. They came in. This newfound West Ham, this newfound keeping everything tight, locking it up, closing it, like not letting people know what's happening is working for us. And I think long may that continue. I'm going to jump into the comments and see what everyone's having to say. Where are we? There's so many comments. I'm going to have to jump by some, though, as well. Adam Casey, Pep is saying that Rice is exceptional. Does that not worry you about them making a move? They could afford him, no worries. Absolutely, but everyone, Adam, it doesn't worry me. I mean, I would be worried. I think I'm worried about any West Ham player playing well, and most of our team, Fornals is playing fantastic. Soucek, you name it, all these players are playing out of their skins. And yes, okay, we build our team in and around Declan Rice, but as long as he's not going anywhere in January, as long as West Ham progress, then I can't see why he would want to leave if we've progressed to 2 or 3 levels above what we're at just now. So if we win a cup and we qualify for the Champions League, why do you want to leave at that point? I don't know. We'll see. Got to start with Lanzini tomorrow. He doesn't talk about Lanzini, but wait for the preview tonight because we're going to really go into the preview with Lanzini and Benrahma, etc. Peachy boy, good to see you, mate. Antonio, love the West Ham? Absolutely, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Please keep yourself safe. Yep, you are brand new. That's cool. Father Snowman, Anton, could ask the wife if she started my order. She has, mate. She absolutely has, Father Snowman. Obviously, as you're aware, she had a baby, but she is kicking in. As you can see, with all the stuff lying there, there is orders left, right, and centre. So it will be coming to you. So don't you worry, my friend. It will be. It is all made from scratch as well, Father Snowman. So it starts from bottom end to top. So these things do take a little bit of time, but it will be coming with you. It'll be there with you. Don't you worry. Gaza, we are in talks with this Basel strike, Anton. You know, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We made a huge statement, Anton, and I love the unproven players. They got something to prove, my G. I want to talk about the backroom staff with y'all. I got so much to say, my G. Absolutely, mate. Daniela Stewart. I think Moyes has big plans for us. If we're willing to stay for the ride, I'll be more than happy to give Moyes a 5-year rolling contract. We'll be here for the next 10 years or longer. The difference here is you've got fans from Everton, for example, looking at their situation and the amount of managers that they've changed from. Ancelotti, Martinez, Benitez. I can't even remember the other lads' names. And they constantly chopping and changing, and they're not building. And that's the difference between what West Ham are doing. It's the right decision to bring him back and commit to him. And as long as we do commit back to him, that's what we want to do. Just need a striker of quality to add, and we'll have another great season. Yeah, take a striker. I would take Lingard. I would take a couple other things. We'll see it. Lee is saying no slowly. Slowly does no point in just spending unless it complements us. I would love to see Vlasic come good from Gaza. Absolutely. I think Lanzini will start instead of Ben Rama against Brighton. We'll keep an eye on the Brighton preview. We'll talk about it there. Sensible spending, Lee. Absolutely. Vlasic will come through. I have faith, hopefully. Daniela Vlasic will come good. He just needs time and a bit of fan love. Absolutely, Daniela. And you know what? There was a chance that he had against Vienna, and if Ben Rama had just squared the ball, he would have just tapped it into the back of the net, and that could have kickstarted it. But we'll see. Yeah, I think Antonio does need competition. I do. I really do. I think that will help it as well. Oz, the time of the preview is 9 p.m. UK time, the UK time of 9 p.m. So make sure you check in. I'll be putting it public in the next kind of couple of minutes or in the next couple of hours. So keep an eye on the channel and you'll see when that will be. Brighton could be a good game for Vlasic. I don't think Vlasic will start, but we'll talk about it on the preview. But I don't think he will start. You may see him come off the bench and maybe be a bit impactful. I think that would be good for momentum, depending on the result, depending on what's happened at that time. But yeah, I think it might be. Absolutely. James say remove a shoe and follow the Messiah. Lee Ansel says Benny B better against Brighton, was too cold for him Sunday. Absolutely. Alfie, good to see you, mate. I was wondering why Ben Rama didn't square that ball to Vlasic against Vienna. Absolutely. I think that would have done Vlasic the world of good. Adam, too many people slating Souček. The man's shattered, but his role has changed. It has, but is he shattered? Is he shattered? I don't know. I think he needs to play. I think he's the sort of guy with his fitness levels just needs to play. So we will see. Anyway, that brings an end to David Moyes' press conference. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've given you all the information from his press conference today. Make sure you do come and join us at 9 p.m. tonight for the preview. We'll have an away fan coming on who will be talking to us about Brighton and how they're going to set up against West Ham. Well, then myself and Matt will go off and choose the team selection and who we think will start for the game tomorrow. Like I said before I go, though, if you are new around here, go and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, go and check it out as well. Much appreciated. Really good to see you all around here. Thank you very much for being patient with us. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Let's get us there. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you at 9 p.m. Come on, you Irons.